In this video, I'm going to install a JB4 from Berger Motorsports on the BMW. Got the box here for it. I actually got a little overzealous and already installed it, so I can't show you the part or anything. But this is their, it's a piggyback that is actually very well made. You've got to take out the cowl, take off the top of the DME box, or the box that has the ECUs in it. Unplug a few things, and this already has wiring made up that you plug in line with the factory ECU plugs, and this kind of just jumps in between and helps with tuning and stuff. Adds a decent bit of power, has a few different maps that you can switch between, has some safety features on it, and some other cool features. Eventually I do plan on getting a back end flash to go along with it, but I haven't quite done that yet. But as of right now, I've got this installed, and I walked through some of the install. I think I got a little bit carried away, battery died or something, didn't get all of the install, but I show a decent amount of it and then take it for a drive. On the 5 Series, the DME is located under the cowl on the right side of the passenger side. First, to get in there, you got to unplug the 2 sensors that are in front of the cabin air filter. Then there's a little metal clip holding the lid to the air filter on. And then once that's removed, you can take a 13 mil and do a quarter turn and pull the cabin filter off. Next, you pull the weather stripping up, split up about halfway across the bay. You'll want to unsnap the cover that's in the middle of the cowl area that basically just covers the middle cowl bolt. Loosen that, quarter turn. There's a few more of those bolts within here. You want to move this cover on the side, undo the Torx bit that holds the cowl to the strut tower. And here I went backwards and didn't get these. Once you've got those loose, you can just grab this, pull it out. And now you take a Allen wrench, or I've got a T-handle to take off the lid of the DME box. Also in the back, which I didn't show, there's a little sliding clip that locks and unlocks the lid. Alright, now that those are loose, we can pull the lid off and expose all the ECUs and the wiring. With this, for the JB4, you want to find the long ECU connector and short ECU connector. They're right in line, right next to each other. There's a little slider on both that as you slide, it kind of lifts the connector away. You have to slide that to release and then kind of wiggle the connectors out. The long one on the right can fight a little bit. I think it's just due to the length of the actual connector. But if you get a hand in on the one side and kind of help while you're pulling the slider out, you can get it out. So there, I've got the connectors out. Next, you need to remove the actual sliders from the connectors. To do that, just take a small screwdriver or something. There's a little hole that you can punch a little tab in that allows the slider to release once you release it on both sides. And then from here, we work on getting the actual connectors out. There's just a clip on the side of the connectors, and I found if you kind of just work a little screwdriver in underneath the clip to release it and then kind of lift up to pry, it'll just pop the connector out just enough and then slide freely out. Now, I don't show everything related to doing the JB4. I basically show everything up to actually connecting all of the piggyback connectors in. Right here, we're sliding the piggyback connectors into those same the ECU harness or ECU connectors. So this is just putting those connectors in place. Then we'll put the sliders back in, plug that back in to the actual ECU, and then you can see the loose connectors on the side of the bay there. Those actually get plugged into the actual connectors from the car that we just pulled out, and that's how you get the JB4 in between to kind of interpret the signals and correct things. Once you get that all done, there's a connector that actually plugs into the box, and then I also got the Bluetooth connector to be able to communicate with my phone that plugs into the box as well. Aside from that, something else I didn't record was the power for the box. there's another green connector in the box. You just pull that out, pull one of the pins out, one of the JB4 pins plugs into that, and then you connect the factory car pin into the JB4 harness, and you're all set. So right now I'm just working on getting the connectors, the actual ECU connectors back in, and then I start feeding, I'll start plugging the connectors together, but I think I stopped recording somewhere around there. The kit I got, the coloring for the connectors is really good. Everything matches up. It makes common sense if you look at them, how to plug everything in. I've got the JB4 installed. Got a microphone in the bay, microphone here. I'm not sure how that's working, but I'm trying to go find a spot to do a little pull here to measure with the draggy that I picked up. Gonna compare the stock map to one of the tuned maps, ideally. We've got to find some open road to do that. I was going to try to do a video on the draggy as well, but I can't get the phone to mount in the right position. The factory run wasn't that great, but I think it's partially because I couldn't really sit and get a good launch. This one also had a bad launch, but between the stock tune run and the actual tuned run here, I picked up 8 miles an hour in the trap